Got a couple things to get off my chest on this episode of Nonsense. Welcome back. I am your host, F and Bob. Welcome back to Nonsense. So, I'm not going to waste too much time. It's a Thursday episode. I'm not going to waste your time. I just want to check in on everybody. It's been a very long week, it seems like, for me. I don't know about how you guys are feeling. It seems like the week's dragging ass. It's just really dragging ass. Ooh, be careful with that. Yeah, it's just dragging out. It's just dragging out as long as it possibly can, and it's starting to get on. It's honestly just getting on my nerves. I don't know if it's just the winter. Is it like that for you guys too? Like, is winter just long, drawn out days? It's bugging the ever living crap out of me. I can't stand it anymore. But either way it goes, I got a lot to get off my chest. So let's just cut right into the episode. So I've been hearing so much about the Great Resignation. You think I was gonna touch on this? I was gonna touch on this. I was just biding my time. Biding my time. That's funny. No, the Great Resignation. So for those of you who don't know, everybody ain't trying to work. Everybody's quitting. And the older generation is just like, I don't understand. Why don't people want to work? Why don't people want to earn their living? And the younger people are just like, I'm so worried about my mental health and I need me time and personal time and all of this other shenanigans. I think that's literally the generation before me. I guess it's Gen Xers, and then the new Gen Zers are really like the tug of war between these two lifestyles. And then there's just the millennials sitting dead center in the middle. And the millennials are kind of teetering between the two. So I'm going to give you my whole mentality on this Great Resignation, or just work in general. Work sucks. Work's terrible. Nobody wants to do it. I don't know why we're trying to act like we want to work. Nobody wants to work. We all want money. I don't know why everybody's just trying to bullshit you all of a sudden. Work is the worst shit in the world. It's terrible. It's not fun. It's not interesting. It's just garbage. I want you to take this concept into mind. You get up probably at the dawn of the morning for most of us. And I mean early morning. I don't know about you guys, but my schedule consists of having me waking up at 4 in the morning to get to work by 6. Because I have to travel to get to work. So I have to get up and wake up early, shower, take a dump, do all the things, that functional humans do. Not in that order, but for some reason for me, I just happen to have to take dumps right after I take a shower. I don't understand why. It sucks. Whatever. You're supposed to do it in opposite order. Take your dump first, then shower. Be clean entirely. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, my body's backwards. Not my point. Yeah, so you have to get up and, the dawn of the morning, get yourself dressed, travel to work, which for some of us are, some people have a lucky travel. It's, 15, 20 minutes. I, on the other hand, have an hour-long drive. Welcome to the city. There's traffic consistently, no matter how early you get up or how late you have to work or whatever. There's just for some reason traffic. I've just come to accept it. There's always going to be traffic. I know there's going to be traffic. I know my travel, if I'm lucky, will be maybe 45 minutes to an hour. With traffic, it's an hour and a half max, easily. Or 2 hours max, hour and a half easily with traffic. Such is life, And then when you get someplace where you have to work, you're, just killing yourself. You're working extremely hard. You're busting your tail. And in all honesty, no one cares. Your bosses never care. Your supervisors never care. The other employees that work side by side you do not care about your life. It's a sad fact, but it's work. We've come to accept it. Now that people are slowly transiting to being more entrepreneurially minded, trying to, hustle up their own money. Some people are chasing their dreams. Again, look at Kelly with RK9. Shout out to RK9. Chasing her dreams, becoming a dog trainer. Me podcasting, even though me podcasting was prior to the Great Resignation, but I spent some of this time recently trying to revamp, hence the video. Thank you for the video. But yeah, people just don't want to do the same old anymore. We're done. We're done. Nobody wants to go into work. Nobody wants to travel to work. And sadly enough, you guys screwed it for yourselves. This whole work remote thing has changed a lot of people's aspects of office work. Office work to me personally is probably the most garbage thing on the planet. It's useless. It's dumb. It's a waste of space. And I can tell you this much. My girlfriend can attest to this, and most people who live in bigger cities can attest to this. If you go into a city, let's say Chicago, like, home sweet home Chicago, half of those buildings downtown are either hotels, office buildings, or useless buildings. That's it. But a good chunk of those buildings downtown are all office settings, if they're not condos or something else dumb. But most of them are just offices. Most of those people who work in those offices could not think more than to jump out of those windows. If those windows open, there'd be a lot more people jumping out of them, because nobody wants to live their life in a high-rise building that they could care less about doing a job, pushing pencils that they don't care about. I'm sorry to say it, work sucks. Most people don't have fulfilling jobs. Most people aren't in the field that they thought they would be in. Nobody's doing a job that they care about, and sadly enough, the job doesn't care about you. So that's put it this way. That's my 2 cents of the whole scenario. Let's stop pretending that we like work. We like money. We like the things that money can afford us. I would love to travel. I want to buy a new home. That's why I work. That's why I do this podcast, mostly because I enjoy it. The podcast I actually enjoy, but I also would love to make a living off of it. That's why I'm selling shirts. Go get your merchandise. Pull it up again. Shirts. Come get these. You see it? Can you hear me? Get the shirt. I'm holding the shirt sideways. And the shirt's slightly dirty, but you didn't see that. Get your shirt. But yeah. Yeah, I don't understand why people are faking it anymore. No one wants to work. Let's stop pretending that we want to work. And I think the biggest thing with work ethic compared to, I would say, the generational gaps, because a lot of people bring that up, was like, well, my generation liked to work, and my generation did this. It's like, look, you guys got paid. I hate to say it that way. Gen Xers got paid. Most of you guys could, work a warehouse job and sustain a living. A warehouse job is minimum wage now, and it's not going to really sustain a living. Now, I'm not saying all jobs are terrible. There's some jobs that actually take care of their employees, but there's not a lot. Sorry enough. And I hate to also say it, and I've mentioned this a few times, the good paying jobs, the good low level paying jobs are all occupied by older people who won't leave. Get out of the way. I would like to live that nice job now. Just get out of the way, man. If your life was so good and you figured it all out, move, leave, get out of the way. My turn. Millennials, and again, this is to the older fans of mine, or to the fans who at least understand. I'm just going to explain this really quickly. Millennials were born in 80s to 90s. We're all old now. We're in our 30s and 40s now. We are not children anymore. We are desperate to live a life. And society's really not allowing that much. So yeah, that's pretty much it with the whole work thing. Because people are always asking, it's like, well, do you enjoy your job? Because I've talked about my job before. No, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. It's political garbage. It's bullshit. And it's a waste of time. And it's a waste of taxpayers' money. I'm just going to say that out loud. Everything that I do is honestly a waste of taxpayer money. And I would love to blow a whistle on everything and just crack the lid wide open, but I can't because I still work there. So there's a common decency for the place you work for, where you just don't tell all the company secrets, for one. And two, I kind of still want to make a paycheck. I'm sorry, I'm greedy, and I work there, and I don't want my work to disappear, because all the other jobs suck right now. Sorry. I would love to work remote. That would be cool. I see a lot of people developing the work remote lifestyle. Hook a brother up, man. I would love to sit at home. I have the equipment. I mean, obviously, a dope mic. I have 3 monitors, webcam, lighting. Not great lighting, but lighting. All I'm missing is a green screen. Hey, hook me up, man. What you need me to do from the crib? I got typing skills. Not quick typing skills, but I know how to use a keyboard. I'm a I'm fairly adept at technology. Hook me up, man. But yeah, no, this the workplace sucks. Again, all office work is terrible. And a lot of people are like, well, why don't you find something that's more suitable for you? Everything else is either unionized heavily or just gatekeeped at this point. And then everything else is like harsh red tape, which I didn't understand for a long time. I didn't know just to become a firefighter, there were so many steps to becoming a firefighter, or so many steps to becoming a police officer, which, again, not enough steps. Not enough steps to become a police officer. Much more training is needed. You guys keep talking about defund the police. I would love to fund the police. Send them to school. 6 months should be mandatory to become a cop. I'm sorry. I don't know why they're not going to school for 6 months at the least. It takes more time to become a barber, and I've looked this up multiple times. It takes more time in schooling to become a barber. To cut hair takes more time and schooling than it is to become a cop. Ridiculousness. We need to fix that. We need to fix that quickly. We really should get on that, like, ASAP. Yeah, no, there's just so much red tape and garbage to get into any profession. Everything's harshly gatekeeped. At one point, I actually obtained a CDL because I thought, driving trucks would be cool. Every kid wants to drive a big car or a big vehicle. I got my CDL, and literally within a week, it was pretty much ripped away from me because I got a speeding ticket in my own car in the middle of bumfuck nowhere in Indiana. And I wasn't even, and again, yes, I was speeding. I can admit, because I'm an adult. I know when I did something wrong. But Jesus Christ, man, I was going 5 over the limit. And they slapped me with a ticket, which the state trooper was just not having it. He was just like, you speed, you get a ticket. Which, okay, reasonable. But I have a CDL. Yes, I knew better. But damn it, you just ruined my entire driving life. If it wasn't, as an out-of-state ticket, I had to plead guilty because I definitely wasn't going to go to bumfuck nowhere, Fort Wayne, Indiana, to go fight it in court. Yeah, I got screwed over and nobody wanted to hire me for a long time. It's been like 5 years since I got my CDL, and I still haven't driven a truck since I've attained my license because nobody really wanted to hire me, and a few places that were willing to hire me were only willing to pay me almost minimum wage to drive a giant vehicle, which is extremely hard to do. I can say I have the talent to do it, but I also had the ability to drive manual, which is not common for most people. And yeah, they were willing to pay me dirt money. Like, I think the best offer I got was 12 to 13 an hour. And I was like, that's ridiculous, dude. Again, I understand the only stipulation I had was I would like to be, local routed at best. Because I have family members I have to take care of and things of that nature. I will work 10-hour shifts. I will work 6-7 days a week. I just wanted to get home so I can take care of my family. But yeah, no, that's a long story out of pocket. I apologize for that. But yeah, no, the job market is just terrible right now on that level. So on pretty much everything I wanted to do, I think the last thing I was like half dreaming of doing was becoming air traffic controller because I wanted to learn how to fly a plane and figured air traffic control would be the next step. Weird, harsh limit. You have to be under the age of like 26 to become an air traffic controller. What the hell does my age have to do with anything? I'm intelligent enough. I can stay awake. I'm competent. Why can't I be old and do air traffic control? That's so ridiculous. And again, I understand it's a high-paying job. Well worth it. I would love to do it. I would love to do all the work involved in it. I feel like that's one of those things where you should be, middle-aged, where you're kind of intelligent and trustworthy enough to do the job. You have a lot of people's lives in your hand. And I don't understand why I have to be young to figure it out. It's kind of weird. But maybe I'm just looking all the wrong places. So, comment below to everyone. Everyone comment below. Do you have a job that you actually enjoy? Do you have a job that you find fulfilling? Do you have the job that you actually trained to be at one point? You went to school, you went to college, you found a career path and you followed it all the way through, and that's what you're doing right now. I feel like that's a zero-sum game. I don't think there's anybody who went to school for anything and actually became the thing that they wanted to be. I think that's ridiculous. But, prove me wrong. Everybody comment below. Tell me, are you fulfilling your dream? Are you not even fulfilling your dream? Because I think people who fulfill their dreams found their dreams later on in life. But if you didn't and you knew what you wanted to be from day one, let me know. But bigger thing, I want to know, did you study for something? Learn it and become that thing. Comment below. Let me know. I'm just curious. Just for my sake. This is not a pissing contest. This is not a bragging contest. I just want to know, are you the thing you wanted to be or trained to be at least? So, with that, let's take a quick commercial break because I want to kind of not run through the podcast, but I kind of want to end the podcast quickly and smoothly for once. So, I'll catch you guys in a sec. Enjoy the commercials. And if they're not good commercials, don't blame me. I don't have any control over the commercials. I'll catch you guys in a second. All right. And we are back. Welcome back to Nonsense. Did you enjoy those commercials? Did you get some good ones? Are you going to buy the stuff that they tried to sell you? I hope it wasn't a Spotify commercial because that sucks. I'd feel bad if we got a Spotify commercial because I feel like you should already be paying for Spotify. Spotify is not that expensive and you get music without commercials. And you have the access to all the music for like a couple bucks. How about a family plan, dude? I'm not sponsored by Spotify. I just feel like it's one of the simplest things to subscribe to. You got Apple. Apple's trash. Spotify's the way of the world. Anyway, and no worries to the people who are listening on Apple. I get it. I'm just fucking around. Anyway, so to continue on with the topic that I left off with. Jesus Christ, reset my brain. I can't hit the buttons. Whatever. People on audio only are just like, what the fuck is he doing? See, that's what you got to listen to both for. At least watch one or the other every once in a while. Anyway, going back to where I was before. I got scatterbrain today. With the whole working sucks. I've also run into this conversation a lot of times that millennials are either entitled or what's going on, what's wrong with millennials, what's up with the millennials this, the millennials that. And I think my favorite of all the what's up with millennials are why are millennials so depressed? I've been waiting for this. As a millennial myself, I think I can answer this one better than any millennial can, I think. Why are millennials depressed? Look at the timeline, stupids. It's really easy to figure out why we're out of our goddamn minds. All right. So take somebody like me who grew up in the early 90s, right? When was the Cold War? I get it was trickle over from the 80s to the 90s. But do you know how much shit from the Cold War kind of made it into my daily life? How many of the kids in this world, I get it, everybody has their active shooters and their school shooter scenarios. You ever had a bomb threat? A nuclear drill? I've had those. I remember those. I remember every once in a while we would do, because we live in the middle of I won't say absolute nowhere, but we live in tornado country. You had your tornado drills, hide under your desk, hold on to something and hope it doesn't blow away. You had your active shooter drills, you had your fire drills, the common thing. And then we had the nuclear drill because, we were dealing with the goddamn Russians. And I used to have to practice kissing my own ass goodbye at some point during the day. It's just like, well, this siren's going to go off. And if it goes off, you're dead. So best thing you could do is if your school had a bomb shelter, which a lot of the people don't know. And again, if you live in the Chicago city limits and you went to a Chicago public school, try and remember there were a few signs posted in your school. There's bomb shelters in the schools. We used to have to hide. We practiced these things. Yeah, there was a point in my day where I practiced, being blown up. That was a thing. I was terrified of the Russians as a child. Oh yeah, don't forget, I grew up during 9/11. Never forget, as they all say. I was in school when 9/11 was a thing. So guess what I had to deal with? Oh shit, now I had to deal with the Russians. Well, now the Arabs are coming to get us. And the terrorists are going to get us. And Bush on the TV was talking all this stuff about, Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan. So now I'm terrified of all of those people. Yeah. And that war is still pretty much going on until recently when Biden just decided, screw it. So yeah, I pretty much dealt with a war of some sort my entire life. We were just consistently in a conflict against people that would just blow us up at some point. We didn't know why. We didn't know when. It just didn't matter. Someday it was just going to happen. And we had to practice and live with these things. So I get it. Other generations had wars. Obviously, way back you had, Vietnam and all that. But we were going over there for that. It was always over there. I feel like Cold War and with the terrorist attacks, this is the first time stuff really came close to home. We were kind of worried about everything coming close to home. I think before, the worst you had to worry about was the Chinese, and I think we handled that really wrong, by the way. But yeah, that's the thing we were terrified of, was the Chinese and Pearl Harbor. It wasn't that close to home because even Pearl Harbor was a military base. 9/11 was just a building. And mind you, it wasn't just the two Twin Towers. It was the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and God knows where else the other plane was going to go if they didn't bring it down. I still daily wonder if somebody's going to end up here in the Sears Tower, because I still call it the Sears Tower. But I'm just waiting for the day that the Sears Tower gets hit. And what are we going to do? Nothing. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm kind of out of my mind. Here's another reason. Just if you don't believe me, it's like, all right, so yeah, everybody deals with war. Technology scares the shit out of millennials to a certain degree. We, yes, grew up with technology, but we also, yes, didn't grow up with technology all at the same time. The technical boom was in the 2000s. So we had a full childhood of old tech. I grew up with floppy disk computers and stuff where you had to pop one in to get the thing going, pop another one to get the other thing going, 2 floppies to run one thing sometimes. Yeah, I literally watched technology progress from floppy machines. I grew up with Windows 95, 98, XP, Vista, garbage, 7, 8, 9, 10, now 11. I'm slowly watching computers develop. I've watched phones go from bricks to the car phone. I had a pager when I was a kid because I thought all cool kids had pagers. Nobody remembers Palm Pilots. I grew through all of that stuff, and technology is changing so dramatically fast that now I'm at an age where I'm starting to become too old to keep up with the shit. You thought Gen X couldn't keep up with technology. Put yourself right in the middle of it while it's being developed quickly, extremely quickly. It's mind-boggling. And the worst part of technology developing around somebody like a millennial is that the older generation has no idea how this shit works. And at the same time, the younger generation doesn't have any idea how this works. The new Gen Z grew up with all of the shit. And you have no idea how this shit works. You couldn't function with or without it somehow. You don't understand how any of this shit works. We literally had to develop, Express VPN because you idiots couldn't stop getting viruses. We grew up with LimeWire and we knew this all is virus, but we knew how to maneuver it just good enough. And you guys can't handle this shit at all. So, yeah, we're kind of bugging the fuck out because we have to take care of the old generation with tech and the new generation with tech because neither one of you idiots know how to use this shit at all. You laugh at us because we barely understand TikTok, but it's like, goddamn it, at least I know how the fuck a camera works. You dumb. People are yelling at me because I don't have an iPhone, and I'm like, you do realize how iPhones are not superior devices because you can't see my text message and videos. It's because it's purposely encrypting the video and diminishing the video so I can't see it or you can't see it the other way around. Most people of millennial status kind of understand that. But you guys don't, and you're yelling at us. That's where I don't get it. That's where I'm just like, dude, you're part of the new generation. You should understand how tech works. So yeah, that's one of the other things that bugs me is it's one thing to have no tech. It's another thing to have all the tech, but to be right in the middle where tech is just going right by you. For all my millennials below, just if you can remember, name your first phone. And I guarantee you 90% of us are all going to say that Nokia brick. What Nokia brick? They're all bricks to us. They're all bricks. And everybody knows what I mean by Nokia brick when they're millennials, by the way. with your and all these other people with their fancy iPhones and all of this stuff, and the older generation. Well, we didn't have phones. We had the house phone too. My house still had a rotary phone because my parents and grandparents were really old. I'm sitting there going and all of that shit. Like, I grew up with all that shit. I grew up with dial-up internet. We all know the horrors of dial-up internet. Try watching porn on dial-up, by the way. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Shouldn't even have been a thing. They should have just held off until modems were a thing. I don't even think people understand the difference between dial-up and modems in general. Like, we lost it when modems were a thing. We lost it when a meg of speed was incredible. And now these kids are spoiled with their 5G bullshit sitting in their goddamn pockets. Like, that's the shit I'm talking about. It's not depression, it's just sheer, like, disbelief of this is all developing in my time frame and my lifetime. It's nuts, and it's just too much sometimes. That's why, like, millennials are literally big into unplugging, because that's our childhood. Our childhood was devoid of tech. It's ridiculous. So yeah, tech is killing us. I kind of already covered the job market, but the job market's a big thing because we were all told that we can be and do whatever we want to be, and most of the jobs that you guys had are gone. Factory and warehouse jobs are disappearing for just Amazon. Amazon has all the warehouse jobs pretty much. If not, you're driving a FedEx or UPS truck, and that's considered, manual labor, and that's only because Amazon is delivering through UPS and FedEx. It's the only thing that's keeping those two businesses together right now. Nobody's going to a FedEx Kinko's right now. I bet half of you people don't even know what a FedEx Kinko's is anymore. And you're saying I'm crazy, you know what I mean? Just like, dude, all the jobs are gone. Everything's some weird marketplace where we can't sustain a living. I just want to buy a house, by the way. I just want to have a home that's safe and secure, and that I don't have to fall asleep to gunshots anymore. But that's my lot in life, apparently, is to sleep to gunshots every night. It's terrible. So the job market, which I kind of explained why it's a mess and why people hate it so much. What else keeps millennials depressed? Our parents' parenting skills probably fucked us up a lot. I think every millennial was parented slightly different. I had the old school method. Some people had the timeout method. I don't even know do people still do timeouts? I feel like timeouts is an old archaic thing now that people just don't do anymore, because a lot of parents now just conversate with their children. You either got an ass whooping or you got sat in a corner. Like, that was raising your kid back then. And then at the same time, just like I mentioned before, it was you can do anything and everything. Just try your best. And here's a participation trophy. I love how, by the way, Gen X and Boomers are all just like, man, like, these millennials are so coddled. It's like, who did it? I didn't buy myself a second place trophy. I didn't buy myself a participation trophy. I never told myself that I was good no matter what. We all felt the pain of defeat. We were fine with it. It was you that coddled us. Don't blame us for what you did to us, dickheads. So no, I could go on and on about how terrible parenting is, but that could be a podcast in on itself of just the parenting habits towards the millennials. So parenting was a big just clusterfuck for us. Jesus Christ, did I just unplug half of my goddamn computer? Just get out of here. Shut up. Anyway, so for parenting, and I think alongside of parenting is education, because education failed us miserably. And if you don't know what I mean, just go back a couple episodes to my school days episode, where me and my girlfriend talked about our upbringing with school for 2 episodes straight, which were 2, I think, very solid episodes. I highly recommend going back to checking those out. But a quick overview. We were taught improperly. We never were taught life skills. I remember, like, home economics being a thing for, like, older generations. There's no home economics anymore. Sexual education was just the pits at that point. I didn't even have driver's ed. I had to go learn how to drive from my parents, because that was the only way I was going to drive. And I didn't even get my license till I was 18. I was just driving illegally the entire time because driver's ed didn't exist. There was no really good elective classes. I was taught in the gifted program, which sums it up as you teach yourself because you're smart enough to learn on your own. and no real good teaching role models for the most part. But either way, education for, I think, all millennials is a mess between no real role models in most places. And again, I grew up in Chicago, and you can look up the stats yourself. If I'm not mistaken, we're 49th in education because CPS is run like a goddamn business corporation than a handful of adults teaching children. It's not that. It's a corporation, and that's how I'm just gonna leave it. It's terrible. It's god awful. Shout out to all of my Chicago public school graduates. If you were able to make it out, if you weren't, I understand. But shout out to everyone who graduated from Chicago public school. If you're a listener from Chicago, go back and listen to School Days. You'll understand most of what I'm bitching about now. And just again, comment below if you want. Let me know. Was school worth it for you? If it was, I feel like you're lying, but drop a story or two. I'm cool with that. I would like to know. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I think education highly failed us, but I complain about that enough in my last few podcasts with School Days. But yeah, no. And that's not enough for you to understand why millennials are depressed to all hell. I don't know what more you need. If you feel like we still had it golden, I think you're living under a rock at that point, to be honest. But hey, it is what it is. So I'm going to take one more commercial break, and then we're going to wrap up with some more fan-based stuff because you guys are really killing it with sending me stuff again. I super appreciate it, so we will handle some of that when I come back. See ya. Enjoy the commercials. All right. Welcome back to Nonsense. Still the host. Me. Still in the studio / office / cool room. Yeah, so I wanted to do some more fan-based stuff. So again, thank you for sending me stuff to talk about. Helps a lot, and the more you send me, the more I get to talk about. So I'm not just sitting there complaining about my terrible upbringing. A fan sent me something asking me what's my game of the year, and I think I might turn this into a TikTok too. I think this is a solid TikTok because I'm supposed to be putting out TikTok content. So this will be a double whammy. You get to hear it twice. Somebody asked me what was my game of the year for last year, obviously, 2021. And I kind of mulled it over. I thought about it. I even looked at the Game Awards, which I don't even know why I'm bothered doing that. But I looked at it, and it's really hard to, I'd say, pinpoint one. But I will give you a list of the games that I enjoyed of the last year, and I think I'll just pick one from that. So I wrote a few down. So my game of the years, my nominees, I should say. It Takes Two, which was a really, really good co-op and won Game of the Year award for Game of the Year. Me and my girlfriend heavily enjoyed it. I tried to play it on stream, and I don't think it worked out. I tried to do a couple recordings. Just the audio was all jacked up. It's before I really learned how to do all of this stuff easily. I'm still not really good at it, but not the point. But yeah, It Takes Two is really good. Quick overview just of what the game is. It's pretty much two parents who are pretty much just at the end of their ropes with their relationship, and they're in the process of getting a divorce. Their daughter obviously is unhappy about it, makes a wish, turns them into puppets, and then they have to work together to get their bodies back and get back to their daughter, and then they obviously rekindle their relationship. Hands down, one of the best games. I highly recommend every couple play this game. I think it's necessary because it really shows you where you are as a couple. And what I mean by that, and I mean it like 100% across the board, by the way, is I think early couples realize how well they'll be able to work together and problem solve. Me and my girlfriend have been together for 10 years just about, and it really showed how we just kind of, I won't say developed, but it showed where we were currently, you know what I mean? Where certain stuff that we could tell what would bother younger couples and what would bother us if we got a bit older and we're still stuck around each other. And it was just like a good realization of where we were as a couple. We knew certain things didn't bother us, certain things we just didn't care about and it wasn't a big deal. And then certain things we were just like, it's interesting that's how you feel about that situation. Kind of just, when you think you know a guy, you know what I mean? You think you know a guy. You've been around him for so long, and then you're like, didn't expect that. So that was really good for something like that. And I think older couples, who I won't say are at their wits' end, but just, they think they know each other can benefit from something like that. Just proving that you know each other, proving that you work together well or don't work together well, or anything of that nature. And if you don't work together well, it kind of nudges you in the right direction sometimes. It makes you do things together that you weren't expecting to do. Um, for those who aren't gamers and don't think they game often or anything like that, I still say try it. It's not a difficult video game. It's very simplistic. It's very easy to play. It's very welcoming. It walks you through a lot. There's no high, harsh difficulty level. It doesn't punish you for not knowing what you're doing. It's very simplistic in nature, and it's very fun in nature, and it's very interesting to watch and learn and develop. One of the few games I feel like doesn't really translate well into just watching. I think it's more interesting to watch what you and your partner will do together. And I love it for the fact that it forced one person to do something that the other person couldn't, and vice versa, forcing you two to work together. Incredible game. A lot of cool mini games where, after working together for so long, you can get a little competitive every once in a while. It opened the door to me and my girlfriend playing chess, which she never played chess. I dabbled with chess on occasions. And it's just like, dude, let's try this. And it slowly became, I won't say a new thing for us, but we have dabbled in more board games and stuff like that because we realized we enjoy playing games a lot together. And they don't always have to be video games. So, It Takes Two is really high on my list. A couple other great honorable mentions, Returnal. It's just a great concept game. I didn't like it much, but I do enjoy the concept of it. It's just I couldn't get into it. I work a lot. I'm busy. I have a ton of games that are backlogged, and what I don't need is a game that changes every time I touch it. I don't have time for that. So it's literally just I don't have mental time to do something like that. But I love the concept. I love the premise, of the game just changing every time you play. The levels, the environments, the difficulty, everything's new every time you touch the game. Really cool. Just something I couldn't get into at the moment, but I still think it's a great checkout. Back for Blood, obviously, another game that me and my girlfriend enjoyed. Great co-op game. We still have not. No, we have finished it actually recently. We were able to make it through the whole thing, and that what I would love to do is to replay it again with everyone on stream. Possibly on the 15th, maybe later, maybe just a couple recorded episodes. Who knows? But we will be playing it because we enjoy playing it. One of the first few games we played together was Portal and Back for Blood, or Left 4 Dead. So Back for Blood was just a nice new addition to similar gameplay. Back 4 Blood, really good game though. Metroid Dread, which I played entirely for you guys on the YouTube channel. One of my first full YouTube channel gaming things. So if you guys didn't know, if you just scroll back a little bit, look down the playlist, there are some gaming moments in there from me. I played Metroid Dread all the way through. Very enjoyable, very fun, super nostalgic. The difficulty level was right there, right where it needed to be. It wasn't too difficult, but wasn't too easy. And just like all Metroid games, once you learn it, and you can breeze through it no problem. I anticipate me playing it at least 5 or 6 more times. I might come back to it and play it again for you guys, and maybe just do like a highlighted version of it. And yeah, we'll see. I think it was one of the best games I played all year. Another honorable mention, Final Fantasy VII, of course, released their Integrate DLC, so the Yuffie DLC, which was super fun. I played it at least 3 more times since it was released. I've found different ways, obviously, to play it and get better at it. I'm now doing another playthrough, just on my own time, just, resetting everything, no new weapons, no nothing, just a clean playthrough like it was my first time. Super enjoying all of Final Fantasy all over again. It's really nice. So I'm glad to play it. If anybody was on the fence about playing it, play it. It's a great game. And I'm still sitting, sadly enough, I'm still sitting on a copy of the DLC code. So to any of my fans, just as a shout out to you, I have the DLC code for a PS4 copy. So if you guys have a PS4 copy, and obviously I know and understand that grabbing a PS5 is extremely difficult, so you guys might not have the Integrate copy. But if you have a PS4 and you haven't got a DLC, shoot me, an email. Shoot me a text. I think my podcast number is available now. Yeah, shoot me a text. Shoot me an email. hit me up on Facebook. Let me know you actually want it. If you want the code, I will personally give you a code for the DLC. I have it. It's sitting there. I don't want it to go to waste. And I'm a true Final Fantasy fan, and I would love for anyone who has a copy of the PS4 Final Fantasy game who is on the fence or didn't want to put money into the DLC. I got you. I don't know if the DLC is only for PS5 though. I have no idea, but I have a copy of the DLC code. Put it that way, because I couldn't wait, and I purchased an extra copy of the DLC. So I couldn't wait for my physical copy to get here with the code. So I just bought it. I didn't care. Either way. So yeah, I think that's how it works. If you purchased a copy, no, it doesn't matter anymore because PlayStation Plus gave you guys the upgrade for free. So oh well. It went to waste. I just had to piece my way through that. Oh well. Sucks to be this guy with an extra copy. It's whatever. But either way, Final Fantasy VII was a great game. The DLC was great. I enjoyed all of it. So what else we got? It Takes Two, Returnal, Final Fantasy, Metroid Dread, Back 4 Blood, Guardians of the Galaxy. I finally got to play recently thanks to Black Friday sales. I picked up a copy of Guardians of the Galaxy, which was extremely cheap. I think I paid maybe like $10-15 for it. I don't know why it was that cheap because Guardians of the Galaxy was actually really enjoyable. It is the worst YouTuber game I think I've ever played. Because as an aspiring YouTuber and content creator, when you play games like that, you're supposed to talk over them, and they do not allow you to talk over Guardians of the Galaxy because the characters are running their mouths consistently. So if you like, comedy-based games, if you like a little bit of action and adventure, Guardians of the Galaxy is for you. If you enjoyed the movies, I don't see how you wouldn't enjoy the game. If you didn't enjoy the movies, you will definitely enjoy the game because I thought the movies were mediocre, and I think the game was phenomenal. It made all the characters perfect to me. Everybody was interesting. Everybody had a nice little backstory. They explained everybody's backstory. They explained why everybody interacts the way they interact with each other, and I think it's all done perfectly. You know what I mean? And none of the Thanos garbage is in the way, so it's just them being the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I think is great. Great story, great gameplay, very simplistic gameplay, not super difficult, but not super easy. Just really repetitive, really repetitive. I think was the only problem. It was just kind of a point and shoot type thing, and just hope you did enough damage, But some games don't have to be difficult. Some games just need to be fun and entertaining, and I think Guardians of the Galaxy pulled that off. So, stuffed up. It's still cold outside, no Rona, thankfully. Just, it's wintertime. So my game of the year. I gave you a nice little rundown of all of my nominees. I would say my game of the year, since I'm not going to pick Final Fantasy twice, I would say Metroid Dread. I think Metroid Dread was probably as fun as it got. It was very nostalgic. Got me to pick up my Switch again, which is really nice. And it didn't take a lot of time. It took, I think, me all of maybe 6 hours to run through it. I don't remember. I was able to play it twice in literally no time. So I think it was simple, straightforward. They're going to still release new content for it, I hear. So I know they're going to release a more hardcore difficulty mode, making the gameplay a little more challenging, which I think is fair for people like me who've played it, got used to it, and kind of mastered it a little bit. So understandable. I'm looking forward to that. Because obviously they can't change any of the story. The story is set in stone. I think the story of Metroid Dread was perfect. Everything about that game was awesome, and I'm looking forward to playing some more of it. So there you go for the nice fan that asked me a simplistic question that I went on for almost 20 minutes about. Yes, Metroid Dread, my game of the year. And what I'll do is, as a bonus, I'll tell you the games that I'm looking forward to the most, and that I can sum up fairly simply. God of War Ragnarok. I'm like on pins and needles waiting for that game. I know I don't like the new style of God of War as much as I like the old school style where it's just hack and slash and rip shit apart. This one's a little more methodical, kind of Dark Soulsy. As long as they make it extreme and brutal, I'm fine with it. I'll take the slower pace, but I still need Kratos ripping shit apart. I need him screaming, stomping, and fucking shit up. That's what I need out of God of War. Plain and simple. If they dial them back too much more, then I'm going to have a problem. I would like, personally, a lot more epic finishes, because I think that's the only thing this game was missing. And what I mean by epic finishes is look at how he finished off the Hydra in God of War 1, the intense battle with the Colossus in God of War 2, um, the showdown with Zeus, the showdown with Poseidon in 3, 2 and 3 with Zeus, and 3 with Poseidon. All the PSP games had pretty epic battles, part way through. Just a lot of intense, grappling, ripping, destroying of all types of enemies and weapons. Super interesting. I think they just kind of dialed it back a little bit too much. I think the only really, I would say, devastating move he had is when he slaps the axe in the guy's back, kind of gives him a little quick fist pumps and walks off. Just, it's not brutal enough for me. I get it. Kratos is older and a little more calm, but damn it, I need more intensity out of my Kratos. That's all I'm saying. But I'm definitely looking forward to Ragnarok. Let's see what else. Gotham Knights. I'm a fan of the Gotham series games, the Arkham Asylums, Arkham Knights, all the Batman games of that sort are really interesting and really well done. And I don't even like Batman, and I think I've mentioned that 1,000 times. I give two shits about Batman, but those games are really well made. And to finally put a little more of the spotlight on the Robins, the Batgirl, and Red Hood, I'm all in. And I hear that there's going to be a co-op mode as well. So again, let's go. I need Arkham Knights done. I need to see what this game's all about. And as soon as that comes out, I'm probably buying that and playing that as much as humanly possible. And obviously, lastly but not leastly, anything on Final Fantasy VII, because I'm just itching. I've been waiting to play more Final Fantasy VII. They have to be almost done with Part 2, I would hope, because they started working on Part 2 like halfway through Part 1. So they already had the premise of Part 2. They were already working on character models. They had already translated everything over to new generation consoles. I just need them to hurry up and finish it, because I want to know what happens next. A game that came out in 96, 97 has still got my attention. It's got my attention by the balls, and I need to know what's going to happen next. So the sooner the better. Give me something about Final Fantasy. I don't know why they're taking so long. I was expecting the mobile games to come out soon, because they're supposed to like remake everything. Anything Final Fantasy VII related, I'm waiting. I don't care about all these other projects they're working on. Give me 7 Part 2. Let's stop fucking around, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much the only other game I'm really looking forward to. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna end this podcast. How about that? Jesus Christ, I've like beating the shit out of my mic all episode. So, standard processes and things I have to do, right? I need you guys to comment below if you're watching on video, and if you're listening, just, favorite, save a like it, share it with your friends. I just need you guys to do all the things to, make this podcast a little more popular. Because the more people show up, the more things I can do, because obviously I'm generating a little revenue. And if I generate enough revenue, guess what I get to do? I get to quit my job and do this shit all day, every day. And it'll be dope. So please help out as much as you can by liking, commenting, subscribing on YouTube, liking, saving, sharing on all of your Spotify, Apple, everything. As long as you guys are listening, it's more than enough to me, getting through the handful of commercials I throw on there. I know not of my choice would be very helpful. I would love to get sponsorship soon, but just not at the moment, because I need you guys to listen. The more they see people coming towards me, the more they'll be willing to work with me. So anything you guys can do. But the biggest thing I would just love for you guys to do is just listen, share, and comment. If you can do those things for me, greatly appreciate it. If you guys want, I made it for you. But like I mentioned earlier, come get this merchandise. The merchandise is available at Teespring. Links are below. If you just go to my link tree, you'll see the Teespring. It's the effing shop on Teespring. So buy yourself a shirt, a mug, cup, water bottle, hoodie, anything. All extra comes back to the podcast and makes the podcast better. I'm trying not to, I don't pocket much money at the moment, because I'm trying to pretty much just throw on everything I have into making this podcast a little better. I'm doing it solo at the moment. I would love to do more and get better at this. So, yeah, share, comment, listen, buy some merch if you want, please. Do all the things. Everything you guys do makes the podcast better. I appreciate everything you guys are doing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget the big thing, man. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Spotify, Apple, Google, everything. I am available everywhere. Just take a look at the link below. Check the descriptions. And again, even on the audio, if you look in the descriptions, it's right there, man. Email and Linktree is there for damn sure. So follow me on everything. Let me know what you guys want. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me if you wanted me to do more. If you have topics, comments, anything, just let me know. I'm an open book at this point. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. See ya.